Hey, I got one person on. How you doing? We'll wait for a few more people and then we'll get started. Hey, Doug. Thank you for watching. So, Doug, for you, while we're waiting, I'll let you know that I'm going to turn a piece of mulberry here, and I got this from a gentleman who owns a tree service. He has a huge lot. He had a line of trees that had to have been 50 yards long and 15 feet high, and he allowed me to come over and have my pick anything I wanted. And this was part of that, and I'm running the end of that stash, so I'm about ready to go and get some more. Well, I've got someone else on. Whoever just joined, thank you very much. I'm going to wait for a few more people, and then we'll get started. Also, to get started, my primary tool I'll be using is an Ellsworth signature gouge. I've always had great luck with this tool. It's probably my favorite gouge that I have. I also have a Thompson 3/4 inch bowl gouge that I really love too. It's a Haas. It's got the very long handle on it, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. Oh, I'm up to 3 now. We'll get to 5 and I can get started. So, give you a little background. I've been building furniture for years, and I always wanted to get into wood turning, and there was a website called governmentliquidation.com, and I've actually bought my Unisaw through them for $500 down at Fort Stewart, Georgia. But I found there was a Grizzly lathe that came on, and make a long story short, I got it for $35 down at Cherry Point here in North Carolina. I ran down, picked it up. It sat for about 2 years before I ever used it. Once I got onto it, I loved it. I put about $100 in repairs into it, but the thing did good for me. It was one of these variable speed belt ones. So the lowest speed you get is about 700 RPM, which is a little fast. But I got rid of that, and I had bought briefly a Grizzly. And if you go online and look at my video on Grizzly tools, you'll see how the problems I had with it. But I eventually got rid of it, and I have a Laguna Revo 1836, and I just love it. But now we got 5 online. What? Got Hugh on over in the UK. Good to see you. All right, so let's get started. We got 5. So I'm going to start to rough the bowl out. I'm going to do I like to use a push cut. I find it leaves a very nice finish. Good shot on that. There we go. For those of you just joining me, I'm turning the bowl out of some mulberry that I have. I'm going to do a pretty straightforward bowl. Might do a little bit of texture work on the outside of it before we're all done. We got a little bit of bark here I want to get through. How's that? A little better? My wife is assisting me today. She's taking down the names of everyone who's come on and commented, and at the end she'll help me pick who gets the bowl. Let's square up the bottom now. Get it ready to. I think I'm going to put a tenon on this, and maybe at the end turn that into a foot for the bowl. Any questions? What? I'll turn my tenon now. This piece has got a little bit of spalting on it right here. A nice little detail. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. Is that any better? Well, I'll go without it. See how I do. Let's see. I got my foot. I'm gonna, after I turn it around, I got a little bit of pith. I'll turn it down and hope to leave this little bit of this rim here. We'll be right back and get this faceplate off. Okay. All right.
A little bit. Back up the camera. Let's see if I can do it this way, because I need a little bit of light on there. Is that too much? Is that too much, folks? Because I really need a little bit of light. That's probably
I'll tell you what, this blank is very, very dry. very likely. I'm going to try to. What? So the question was, am I going to do a ridge edge? And the answer is, yeah, very likely I'll try to. We'll see how it comes out. Sometimes I change my mind as things come up. Depends on how it hits my fancy. Maybe out of luck. This is at the very tip of the pith that was there, and it's cracked out. I should probably put in a little bit of CA glue in here and lock this down, and then I might have to get rid of that ridge. Let me see how thick I am on the bottom right now. So got about an inch on the bottom. I can I'm probably going to take out probably another ½ inch. I gotta go find my CA glue. I'll be right back. All right, I'm so sorry. All right, so I'm going to fill these cracks right here with some thin CA glue. Hit it with some activator.
He says we should live stream like searching person.
All right, so these cracks here will hold. I'm gonna have to take the rim off and take it down below this crack. Oh yeah, it's much better. All right, let me take out a little deeper on the bottom of the bowl. What I don't want to do is make a funnel right here on live TV, so to speak.
Hugh says put some sanding sealer first before CA. It then doesn't make any worse.
That's good advice, Hugh, and I will take it next time. So my son asked what CA stands for, and it stands for cyanoacrylate glue. All right. Now I get to try again my nice new bowl scraper. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the finish on that. Take a little more there with the scraper, a little bit of a ridge.
What speed are you turning?
Question is, what speed am I turning? Right around 1,000 RPM. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand the inside of the bowl, get it ready, and as much of the outside as I can, and then I am going to put a little textured band near the top. I will scrape out the CA glue that spilled over, and then I will use a V-tool, put a little detail in about ½ inch from the rim, and then I'll use my texturing tool here on it to put a nice textured detail here on the top.
How thin are you making the bowl?
It looks like it's about a little over ½ inch on the top, and it flares out a little bit towards the bottom. I like to give it that kind of the bottom heavy feel to it. Yeah, and I'm about a ½ inch thick on the bottom. Hugh, I don't know if you have Harbor Freight stores over in the UK, but they sell cheap tools. But I bought this right angle drill from them for 29 bucks, and I've had it now for 4 years. And this thing has been the best for sanding bowls. So soon, you know, I start out at 60 grit. I think,
Battery powered.
no, it is not. It's a corded drill. I start out at 60. I go to 120, 150, 180, 240, 320, and I stop at 400. But once you do, the 60 is the one that takes the most time. Once you get it done, all the other grits fly through.
No, he doesn't have it where he bought it on eBay in China.
All right, that's about done with the 60. I'm not seeing any tear out of any kind. A little more on the inside. So those of you who aren't familiar with turning, as you're cutting, you are likely to get tear out on the front end of the end grain. So on this particular bowl, the tree would be growing just like this. This is end grain here. And as you come into it, you are likely to get, there's a little bit of tear out here, and on the other side, it's the same way.
What do you mean by tear?
Tear out, what I mean by tear out is that as it cuts across the grain, and it's shearing across the top like you're on, like cutting through a tree, it can not cut cleanly. It'll tear just a very little bit, because as you make that transition from the edge grain to the end grain, it's hard for the blade to make that nice clean cut. You know, you could spend a lot of time sharpening your gouges, but quite literally within a few seconds they've already cut through thousands of linear feet of wood. So, you know, I sharpened them before we started, and now I just have to sand this a little more.
Please talk about sanding at 60 to 80 grit, I guess. If a person uses a scraper, doesn't that defeat the purpose of using the scraper?
I don't know, Dean, if that does defeat the use of defeat a scraper. I found that even with my scraper nice and sharp, I still need to sand with 60. It takes out a lot of the imperfections. That's my experience. one is going to be persnickety. All right, that did it. Now I'm moving on to 120.
Right now, it's a halfway point 733.
Okay. That's one. Moving on to 150. The 150 is one of my newer boxes I bought, and it's got the scalloped edges. I'm going to buy those from now on because it gives you a little bit of edge sanding at the same time, and I still have to work through my stock of my other discs. All right, so that's 150. Now that I've got to that point, I'm going to put that textured detail on. Yeah.
Very far down. But
That's good. My son bought me this Sorby texturing tool for Christmas. I just love it. You can do so much with it. You know, if you hit it straight on with the wheel, you get a stippled effect. If you just turn it slightly, you start to get more of a spiral or striations. And the more you turn it, the more severe those become. Then I'm going to go for a straight stipple effect. And what's crazy is it takes very little time to do it.
this green wood or the dry wood?
This wood, the question is this green wood or dry? This wood is very dry. All right, so the stippling didn't get in deep enough on the end grain. I got to do a little more. Yeah, that should do. It'll be hard to see. It'll come up. It'll show up much better after I'm going to hit it with a sand to the next grit, 150 or 180, and that'll show up a little bit better. But when I put the wax on it, it'll really stand out. Move on to 180. You can see the stippling effect did show up better here now that I've just smoothed it out a little bit with the 180 grit. I'm going to the 240. Right. Yeah, the grain on this mulberry is just fantastic. And it's nice to have a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it yet, but there's a little bit of oh my gosh. No, I'm losing my mind. It's the, yes, striations. That's not what I'm looking for, but it'll work. 320. Small thing, there it is. All right, so that was 320. I got one more grit, and Nancy said what? She said what? Oh, thank you, Nancy. All right, well that's 400. And I use a simple wax finish. I like the way it looks. It's easy to apply. And I use Minwax finishing wax, and I'm about out, but I've got enough for this. So I know I said I might turn the tenon into a foot, but now I'm looking at this bowl. I think it kind of lends itself to a more of a flat bottom. So after I turn this around and put it on the coal jaw, I'm gonna take it off completely. So I mean, a lot of times when I'm doing these, I change things up as I go along, just based on how I think this bowl is going.
You said green is gorgeous. Can you zoom in a little, please?
Yeah, let me buff it out, and then I will.
Oh, you look at your camera.
All right, so yeah, I love the grain on this. This stuff is pretty spectacular. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I got to take it off the regular chuck. I will mount my coal jaws. I'll have to adjust the feet to hold it on, and then I will get the bottom finished up. Back with it. So, for those who don't know, these are called coal jaws, and that is to hold the bowl face down, I should say, onto the plate itself, so you can finish the bottom. Figure out where I gotta be. All right. Sure. Once I get these pads I will tell you I'll show you how these things work once I get the pads readjusted here. So I understand my grandsons are watching. Hello, Maddox. Hello, Leighton. Love you, boys. I don't know. So this is the one bummer about the coal jaws is you have to almost every single time readjust the bumpers, the feet, to hold the bowl on, because it changes every single time. One way apparently makes a set of chucks that jaws that are really super easy to use and super fast, but like $400, which is a lot of money. And that's for the base chuck, not for all the attachments. So these cold jaws, they actually attach to a regular chuck on the face. And that's how it operates. Hopefully I don't have to move these again. Yeah, that's good. There we go. So now the bowl is now sitting flat against the plate. Now be careful how tight you do it, because you can't crack the bowl if it's too thin. It gives a nice stable platform for doing what you want to do on the bottom. I like to finish the bottom just like I finish any other part of the bowl. I like it to be complete, not just made flat and forget about it. I like to do some details on it. Hi, Maddox. Also, happy birthday to my daughter-in-law, Bailey. All right, now when I do this, I like to do a shearing cut, which is just pulling it across the grain like this, and do it slowly, because you can mess a bowl up right here at the end, and it's very disappointing when that happens. What?
Are they two-part cold jaws?
Who does? Hugh, if you're asking two-part, there's the base jaws down here. Then I bought the extension jaws on the outside. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but there's a total of 4 plates. Very shallow cuts. And also, when you're finishing the bottom, you want to make it a little concave. You want the outer rim proud of the center. That way it'll always sit flat. If you have a straight flat bottom, any imperfection on the surface where it's laid down, it'll never sit flat. But if you make the rim proud of the center, it'll always sit flat. It doesn't have to be very much. Hit it with my blunt nose scraper, and that way I can, when I put my brand on it, it should go on a little bit cleaner. 60 and 120 grits, and then I'll put my brand on it. I bought my brand from a company in California called Brand New. I've used the torch heated brand. I have an electric one that I had from years ago. It is terrible to use. It takes forever to heat up, and it's not very reliable. I found out you use a little MAP gas on the torch heated one, and it works great. It's not a perfect brand, but rarely do I get one. All right, quickly finish sanding, and I'll be able to finish the bottom. What's that? Oh, so there is a company online. Gosh, what is the name of it? At any rate, they do online logos, but you pay them a certain amount of money, and they set it out as a contest, kind of worldwide, to designers all over the place. And I think I paid like $300, and for that amount, they guaranteed you like 10 good designs. I had like 50 designs in an hour. This one happened to be the very first one that came across, and I liked it.
Dean says, this was a great presentation. The audio video was spot on. I struggled with getting the bottom of the bulbs flat without pulling the chair out.
Dean, I agree with you. The bottom of the bowls can be kind of a challenge. But I'll tell you, watching a lot of guys online who I think are awesome turners, who don't spend any time at all on the bottom. It's kind of, I was always like, wow, why? I can't believe you did all that work and then kind of just said, okay, cut it off, I'm done. And this is the 400. Q, I didn't get above 700 RPM that time. And I think this particular bowl is going to be about it for my wax supply.
They said they recognize most people will pick up a piece and the first thing they do is look at the bottom. Like me, Mike.
All right, final buff, and this one will be done. So like I said, I don't know, y'all heard me earlier, I said I had started out in woodworking, building furniture, and I kind of fell into turning, and it has really become my passion. And one of the great parts I love about it is the fact that you can do an entire project beginning to end in an hour. And that's really what it's come down to here. A little over, I guess.
8 o'clock right now.
Oh, almost exactly. All right, so it's a nice little mulberry bowl. I love the color of this stuff, and it's got a lot of detail in the grain. Got the couple little cracks here that I filled with CA, but you know, I actually think that adds character. There's a tiny bit of spalting, and this is sapwood here. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, are there any questions? My lovely assistant, my wife Carol, is on the has been reading the questions to me.
I think that my father gave me a set of old Sears chisels 5 years ago, and it's now my third book on my
Yeah, it is very addictive. Question is it addictive? I'm like, yes, it's very addictive. And my friend Nancy, who's watching, will appreciate this. She was told this about her green egg grill, but when you buy a lathe, you've bought a Barbie doll. Because Barbie needs dresses, she needs the Malibu dream house, she needs the, you name it, she needs it. And you can get into a lathe real cheap at Harbor Freight for, I think, $200. And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of guys on YouTube who do turning on that exact lathe and actually do a darn good job. Some of them who are far better turners than I am, I can tell you that. And but you know, when it comes down to buying chucks and buying the gouges and skews and scrapers and all of those tools, it adds up fast. And I found cheap tools give you terrible results. So unfortunately, you got to go for the big ones. So with that said,
Close your eyes.
my wife has brought me the bowl, and with the names of those who've commented, and I'm going to pick from that. And
Family members aren't included.
yes, family members are not eligible to win. And Doug Miller, you won the ball. And you guys, I appreciate you watching. This is a first for me. I had fun. I'll probably do another one, do something different, maybe one of my carving mallets or something like that. I don't know when. I've got a few furniture projects that I have to do that people are waiting for. And keeping up with that and keeping up with doing videos for YouTube and doing the editing and all that. I have a pretty busy life. But at any rate, thank you all for watching. Please click like and subscribe.
Doug would like to share your thoughts on Brian Wood.
Who did?
Doug.
Doug?
Or Gene Miller.
Gene, are you still there? If you want to add my thoughts on drawing wood, if you go onto my channel and look, you'll see my series I did on the solar kiln I built. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've done some of the furniture work I did for the hospital where I work, and I used air-dried lumber that was cut on their site. And I had so much movement in that wood that I'm like, the next time I do something like that, I gotta have this stuff's got to be better. And I built my solar kiln. I'm super thrilled with it. I've got some pine that I've cut down on my property that's in there drying right now. It actually needs to come out, but it's averaging at about during the middle of the day almost 150 degrees in there. And well, it still says it's streaming.
Okay.
But at any rate, drawing in the kiln is where I've done it. But also, as far as drawing blanks, Pentacryl or the waxy stuff. Not getting it off the top of my head. But that does work, and it dries it at a slow enough pace that it really does the job. I don't know what else I could say, but I hope that answered your question. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you all for watching.
Right.
Hmm?